I'll ask you about in a sec. Now, Jesper, you're running a chatterbait. Run us through that little bad boy.
It's one of these this one, the Spectras, and obviously very popular at the moment. And basically, I've been finding at the moment that they're just not so much just a straight retrieve, just hitting the bottom, couple of cranks, let it drop back to the bottom, and they seem to be hitting it just sort of either on the drop or on the first few cranks, and just keep that going all the way back. So,
and you're fishing that on a bait cast outfit.
Yep.
So, yep.
Yeah, just 10 pound, 14 pound leader, and yeah, just a G Loomis. This one here used to be my jackal rod. I just turned it into a chatterbait rod for today, and just sort of radic retrieve and back to the bottom.
Yeah.
And just go
you can see by the amount of time it's only a couple of seconds, so you're sitting just above the bottom there.
Yeah.
You feel the blade hitting the bottom, or is it just sort of like, because it's sort of, or is it just sort of coming through?
No, just I don't really feel it hitting anything until I drop it back, and then obviously realise how quick, how low it is. But it is a 5/8, so they are pretty heavy, and we're only in around 16 foot of water, so it won't take long for it to get back to the bottom, in a couple of seconds or a second. So, but just sort of like I find with these, it's kind of like half dragging them a little bit. Like that's how I sort of been fishing them. It seems to be working.
Yeah. And do you find a colour in particular? That one is a little bit of brown and stuff in it?
Yeah, this one here I find is the best colour for maroon, or for me anyway. And I've tried other colours, but this one seems to be a little bit of a better colour for in here.
Interesting, because I find colour maroon is quite interesting, because I find on spinnerbaits and that they certainly like purple and black. And even when you go trolling, purple and black would be sort of your go-to colours. Brown, not so much on that side, but certainly when you talk about a chatterbait. So interesting how that colour can change. Do you think that's to do with where it's sitting in the column? You know, because it's sort of like it's on the bottom, it's maybe got that darker appearance, or?
Oh, possibly. I mean, could sort of represent a bit of a cray. Could be just, you know, there's lots of tilapia in here, so maybe it's you know, representing the tilapia in here aren't silver. You know, they're kind of more multicoloured into that browny sort of tone. So,
yep.
And it could just be its depth, so it's silhouette kind of in the water. But I don't know, it just seems to be definitely a colour in here that seems to work a bit better in this, as this water's now clearing up a little bit more than last time we were here. It definitely seems to be going back to these browns, and more natural colours seem to be fishing a bit better.
Yeah, very good. So Jesper, that's a wrap, mate. Interesting session for you.
Yeah, it was a good session actually. I think it was about 15 odd fish on chatterbaits in various areas, and we sort of found them in that sort of 15 to sort of 18 foot mark, which was so we just went around and did that, and then ended up having not a bad surface. Got I think three on surface, and a few hits, and turned out to be a pretty good night.
What was interesting on the chatterbait was you're using the bait cast outfit. Now I switched over to the chatterbait as well, but I was using the spin outfit. I had one bite. You caught about a dozen. Very interesting in just those nuances around slightly different retrieve, all that kind of stuff. You haven't put exactly the same colour on, and that didn't make any difference either. So that was very interesting.
Yeah, I think it was just a bit of retrieve. I think you can, with the bait caster, you can you know, click that bail a little bit quicker and drop the lure back, and just sort of have a little bit more like feel. But whether that was the difference, I don't know. So, but it definitely was, you know, given that we're on the same lure, fishing the same areas, It could just come down to retrieve speed and pauses and stuff. So that there's small variances that can make a difference between catching them and not catching them.
100%. But it was a very good afternoon. Thank you for taking us out.
Yeah.
Good to good to another masterclass, mate. You put them on every time we fish together. So
yeah,
job.
it was a good session.
Was that on the stees?
That was on the
Oh, the chatterbait.
Chatterbait.
Chatterbait? What chatterbait?